Machu Picchu, likewise spelled Machupijchu, site of antiquated Inca ruins situated around 50 miles, 80 kilometers, northwest of Cuzco, Peru, in the Cordillera de Vilcabamba of the Andes Mountains. It is roosted over the Urubamba Waterway valley in a limited seat between two sharp pinnacles, Machu Picchu, Old Pinnacle, and Huayna Picchu, New Pinnacle, at a height of 7,710 feet, 2,350 meters. One of a handful of the major pre-Columbian vestiges saw as almost unblemished, Machu Picchu was assigned an UNESCO World Legacy Site in 1983. Albeit the site got away from location by the Spaniards, it might have been visited by the German traveler Augusto Burns in 1867. Be that as it may, Machu Picchu's presence was not well known in that frame of mind until it was found in 1911 by the Yale College teacher Hiram Bingham, who was directed to the site by Melchor Arteaga, a nearby Quechua-talking occupant. Bingham had been looking for Vilcabamba, the lost city of the Incas, from which the last Inca rulers drove a resistance to Spanish rule until 1572. He referred to confirm from his 1912 unearthings at Machu Picchu, which were supported by Yale College and the Public Geographic Culture, in his naming of the site as Vilcabamba. In any case, that translation is not generally broadly acknowledged. By and by, many sources actually follow Bingham's point of reference and incorrectly mark Machu Picchu as the lost city of the Incas. Proof later connected Vilcabamba with another ruin, Espiritu Pampa, which was additionally found by Bingham. In 1964, Espiritu Pampa was broadly exhumed under the bearing of the American pioneer Quality Savoy. The site was tremendously weakened and congested with timberland, however Savoy revealed stays there of nearly 300 Inca houses and at least 50 different structures, as well as broad patios, demonstrating that Espiritu Pampa was a lot bigger settlement. Machu Picchu was additionally uncovered in 1915 by Bingham, in 1934 by the Peruvian paleologist Luis E. Valcárcel, and in 1940–41 by Paul Fijos. Extra disclosures all through the Cordillera de Vilcabamba have shown that Machu Picchu was one of a progression of pucaras, sustained locales, tambos, explorers' military enclosure, or motels, and signed pinnacles along the broad Inca foot roadway. The homes at Machu Picchu were presumably assembled and involved from the mid-15th to the early or mid-16th 100 years. Machu Picchu's development style and other proof propose that it was a royal residence complex of the ruler Pachacuti Inca Yupanqui, ruled c. 1438–71. A few dozen skeletons were uncovered there in 1912, and, in light of the fact that the greater part of those were at first distinguished as female, Bingham recommended that Machu Picchu was a safe haven for the Virgins of the Sun, the picked ladies, a tip-top Inca bunch. Innovation at the turn of the 21st century, in any case, distinguished a huge extent of guise and an extraordinary variety in actual kinds. Both skeletal and material remaining parts presently recommend to researchers that Machu Picchu filled in as a regal retreat. The justification for the site's deserting is likewise obscure, yet absence of water might have been a variable. The elevated degree of protection and the overall design of the ruin are striking. Its southern, eastern, and western bits are encircled by many ventured rural porches previously watered by a reservoir conduit framework. A portion of those porches were all the while being utilized by neighborhood Indians when Bingham showed up in 1911. Walkways and huge number of steps, comprising of stone blocks as well as tractions cut into basic stone, interface the squares, the local locations, the porches, the graveyard, and the significant structures. The fundamental court, halfway separated by wide patios, is at the north focal finish of the site. At the southeastern end is the main proper entry, which prompts the Inca Trail. Not many of Machu Picchu's white rock structures have stonework as exceptionally refined as that tracked down in Cuzco, yet a few genuinely deserve note. In the southern piece of the ruin is the consecrated stone, otherwise called the Sanctuary of the Sun. It was known as the Tomb by Bingham. It fixates on a slanted stone mass with a little cavern, walls of cut stone fill in a portion of its sporadic highlights. Transcending the stone is the horseshoe-formed walled-in area known as the tactical pinnacle. In the western piece of Machu Picchu is the sanctuary region, otherwise called the Acropolis. The sanctuary of the three windows is a lobby 35 feet (10.6 meters) long and 14 feet (4.2 meters) wide with three trapezoidal windows, the biggest known in Inca design, on one wall, which is worked of polygonal stones. It remains close to the southwestern corner of the fundamental court. Likewise close to the fundamental court is the Intihuatana, hitching post of the sun, a particularly shaped stylized sundial comprising of a wide point of support and platform that were cut as a solitary unit and stand 6 feet, 1.8 meters, tall. In 2000 this element was harmed during the shooting of a brew business. The Princess Castle is a bi-level construction of profoundly made stonework that likely housed an individual from the Inca respectability. The Castle of the Inca is a complex of rooms with niched walls and a yard. At the opposite finish of Machu Picchu, another way prompts the well-known Inca scaffold, a rope structure that crosses the Urubamba stream. Numerous other demolished urban communities, like that on the dim pinnacle of Huayna Picchu, which is opened by an extended, steep flight of stairs and trail, were underlying the district. Machu Picchu is just the most widely uncovered of these. Machu Picchu is the most monetarily significant vacation spot in Peru, getting guests from around the world. Thus the Peruvian government wishes to localize the materials taken by Bingham to Yale. The remains are ordinarily arrived at in a road trip from Cuzco by first taking a limited measure rail line and afterward rising almost 1,640 feet, 500 meters, from the Urubamba stream valley on a serpentine street. More modest quantities of guests show up by climbing the Inca Trail. The part of the path from the KM88 train stop to Machu Picchu is regularly climbed in 3 to 6 days. It is made out of a few thousand stone-cut advances, various high-holding walls, burrows, and different accomplishments of traditional designing. The course navigates a large number of heights between around 8,530 and 13,780 feet, 2,600 and 4,200 meters, and it is fixed with Inca remains of different kinds and sizes. At Machu Picchu there is a lodging with a cafe, and warm showers are at the close-by town of Aguas Calientes. The Inca extension and different pieces of Machu Picchu were harmed by a backwoods discharge in August 1997, however rebuilding was started promptly a while later. Worry for the harm brought about by the travel industry was elevated by conversation of the structure of a streetcar connect to the site.